Hello, I'm Deol, your Tri-Valley real estate broker. If you ask most real estate agents the best time to sell your home in the Tri-Valley, you're likely going to get the automatic textbook answer. Take a guess. It's spring. And look, they're not completely wrong, but if your goal is to time the market and walk away with the most amount of money in your pocket, you need a strategy based on hard numbers, not just conventional wisdom. Today, we're looking past the guesswork. We're breaking down exactly when Dublin, Livermore, and Pleasanton home prices hit their historical highs and a counterintuitive winter strategy that most sellers completely miss. Everything we're talking about is backed by data straight from the Bay East Association of Realtors. Let's start with the undisputed heavyweight champion of the local market, mid-April to mid-June. Historically, this is when Tri-Valley home prices peak. Why? It's driven by two very predictable human behaviors. One, the school calendar, and two, corporate relocation. Families looking to buy in Dublin, Pleasanton, or Livermore want to be closed, moved, and unpacked before the new school year starts in August. That creates a massive wave of emotional urgency. When you look at the historical data, this surge in buyer demand consistently pushes sales prices over the original list price. In peak spring months, it's incredibly common to see buyers pay up to 1 to 2% over asking price just to secure a home here. If your goal is maximum exposure and triggering a potential bidding war, which sellers, we love that, we want that, this is your window. But it comes down to a catch. You're not the only seller with this brilliant idea. Spring is also when your neighbors put their houses on the market, meaning you have to compete for attention. Your home has to stand out because competition is at its highest in spring. Now, timing a crowded market like this requires absolute speed. If you want to leverage the spring rush and beat out the competition, you have to hit the ground running strategically. Now, what happens if you miss the spring rush? Do you have to wait a whole year? Not at all. There is a secondary peak that a lot of people overlook, the post-Labor Day sprint in September and October. So once summer vacations wind down and the kids are settled back into school, the local market catches its second wind. Buyers who went empty-handed during the spring are still out there, and they're highly motivated to close before Thanksgiving hits and the holidays take over. Inventory typically ticks up for a brief 4 to 6 window right after Labor Day, making it a shorter runway than spring. But the buyers, they're serious. Let's talk about the counterintuitive play, November through January. Traditionally, people look at winter as the dead zone for real estate, and yes, total numbers of properties sold definitely drops, but here's what the raw data reveals. Inventory drops significantly lower than buyer demand does. Let's look at what happens in the depths of winter right here in our backyard. In December, active inventory routinely plummets. We've seen months where active listings drop to fewer than 30 homes in Livermore, down to 21 in Pleasanton, and it hit a low of just 17 homes in Dublin, compressing the market to a crazy 0.6 months of supply. If you list a beautifully prepared home in December or January, you become the only game in town for highly motivated buyers who have to move due to job changes or life events. They're not window shopping, they mean business. A balanced market is about 4 to 5 months of inventory. A market at 0.6 months of supply is basically an inventory drought. So here's the bottom line. If you want the highest volume of buyers and historical peak for top dollar, target mid-April through June. If you want to minimize seller competition and buyers who skip the games, don't sleep on the winter months. Every street in the Tri-Valley has its own rhythm. If you want to see exactly what the inventory looks like for your home, reach out. Let's pull the data. Because whether you're buying or selling, I want to be there with you every step of the way. Click on the link below, and until next time.